Recently, I reached a point of contentment. I noticed that I no longer have the biological urge to be around women, which made me realize that aside from that innate desire, I can't think of any other reason to be in a relationship. At the moment, the idea of being single indefinitely doesn't sound bad. If I met the right person, that would be great, but otherwise, I'm fine. I'm curious, what do you all gain from relationships? Story 1. Companionship and intimacy are important to me. I appreciate my partner being my best friend, and I find sexual satisfaction through an emotional connection and desire with someone. Casual encounters have never been sexually or spiritually fulfilling for me. Story 2. My girlfriend, now my wife, has enriched every part of my life and made me feel a sense of security that comes from knowing that I have someone I can trust to support me against the world. Even the smallest conversation with her reminds me how much better my life is now that she is in it. Additionally, our intimacy is fulfilling. Story 3. There is nothing wrong with being single and enjoying it. Dating is typically done with the intent to eventually marry, but being long-term partners is also acceptable. For most people, a relationship is a more intimate friendship where you can confide in each other and support one another in ways that friends cannot. Some individuals seek physical reassurance rather than an emotional connection. It is important to communicate with your prospective partner so that everyone understands the purpose of the relationship. Story 4. Love and companionship. I love my male friends, but there is something I can get from a loving girlfriend that I don't want or get from a man, and it's not just physical attraction. For example, one thing I appreciate about being with a woman is just snuggling in bed. It's not about sexual activity. It's simply enjoying each other's company. I also see men in loving relationships with women and have a desire to experience the same. I guess it's hard to explain, but being in a romantic, intimate relationship with a woman is very appealing to me. Not that I don't love or appreciate all my female friends, because I do. I'm not going to be negative. Sure, there are selfish and abusive women out there, and my sympathy goes out to all the men who have been emotionally abused or cheated on. However, I see a lot of decent women getting married and treating their boyfriends and husbands with love and support. So I'm not giving up on women. I generally enjoy dating women, even if some are a huge hassle. Story 5. When I have dated or been in relationships with women, I find the connection and emotional intimacy to be the best parts. I am not one to simply seek physical intimacy, but being able to cuddle together on the couch and watch movies is something I would never want to give up in life. Story 6. I am now married, but I still seek emotional support and balance. As men, we are taught to be tough and strong, never letting our guard down. It's wonderful to be with a woman who makes you feel safe enough to relax. Women possess a gentleness and love that can only be found in intimacy. Unless you are gay, you are unlikely to find this in men. Sexual intimacy can sometimes feel overwhelming, leaving me feeling weak and vulnerable. Even after 14 years, my wife can still evoke these feelings in me. Story 7. When I am older, I want to belong to a family that I help create with someone. Having people who know you intimately and love you for who you are is a meaningful purpose in this life. Story 8. Intellectual intimacy is everything to me. I am single and my friends, all of whom are women, help me. However, the search for it gives my life purpose and direction. Story 9. For me, every part of dating and relationships has always been enjoyable. I love meeting someone new, experiencing the excitement of having a crush, flirting, and getting to know each other. Going out and connecting with someone new is always intriguing. Discovering shared ideas and passions, working together, supporting one another, and growing alongside each other while having a loved one in my life feels incredible. There is no aspect of dating or relationships that I dislike, to be honest. Story 10. What? Just normal social interactions. Maybe if you two click, you can build a relationship, and sometimes you might enjoy having sex. If the date doesn't work out, both of you can move on. Story 11. It is mostly just a dream to help keep me motivated. I know I may never date someone who truly wants me, but the idea that one day someone might keeps me working hard. Mentally, I have given up on finding love, but my heart keeps dreaming, so I continue moving forward. Story 12. I need feminine energy to soften my rough edges. I am an adrenaline junkie and take everything too far. A woman helps keep my schedule regular and my activities sensible. Story 13. Share my life with someone. Have children. Always have someone to talk to about your problems and share your achievements, as well as theirs. Intimacy is valuable, but it can be found elsewhere, and even that may fade with time. Story 14. It is revealing, based on some responses, how many men genuinely do not like spending time with women. It is amusing how many of them wonder why it is so hard to find a date. Women are people just like we are. Some are difficult, some are kind, some are mean, some are intelligent, and some are caring or indifferent. I would never spend time with someone I did not genuinely like. However, my fiancé makes my life better in every conceivable way. Every day together, we make each other laugh, support each other, and plan the future we want. I never have to be afraid of discussing anything with her, in a way that I have never experienced with anyone else I have met in my entire life. Story 15. I agree that being single is far better than being with the wrong person. Being single is also freeing, as life is simpler without someone else to worry about. I find that very comfortable. I prefer to date short-term to learn more about myself. It is not about sex, but rather about meaningful connection. Some individuals view it as a competition, but in my opinion, they are all losing. Discovering yourself is the key to finding the right person, even if, like the original poster, you realize that person is looking back in the mirror. Story 16. You sound like me. I am single. I have had long-term relationships in my life, and I have come to the conclusion that the best happiness is to be alone. The overwhelming majority of situations with a woman in a couple would make me unhappy for no reason. The only thing I miss is intimacy, which I will find through other means. Emotionally, I am in a good place. The only people in my life I care for are my daughters, who are almost adults and will soon leave the nest. They will always be the best part of me. I do not want any other living being under the same roof. I am not a hater or a misogynist. I have many dear friends, most of whom are women. I just do not want anyone close to me. To me, loneliness is almost an orgasmic happiness. Story 17. Oh, also try asking this in the Ask Women forum and see how many responses are banned. That will tell you a lot. Story 18. Well, women are beautiful and fun to be around. You share experiences together and enjoy intimacy at the end or start of the day. It's mostly about companionship and connection. Story 19. Dating can be challenging. However, having a good partner is wonderful. You need to meet many people to find the right one, but it is worthwhile when you do. I didn't find my wife until I was 33. With a partner, you enjoy dual incomes, shared responsibilities around the house, and companionship in all aspects of life. So, dating is the effort you put into finding a life partner. Story 20. I have mentioned before that while love and intimacy can be enjoyable, they may not always justify the effort. I am not particularly interested in seeking a relationship. Story 21. I am 36 years old, and my girlfriend is 26. I work the third shift and barely see her. I cook, she cooks, I own my house, and she helps with the bills. When we finally see each other on the weekend, cuddling and venting for a couple of hours is all I need. We have allowed each other to be open, but we both stay true to one another because physical intimacy is overrated. It's nice to have someone to lean on when one of us is weak and the other is strong. We share household responsibilities, making the dullness of everyday life a bit more bearable. Sharing financial burdens reduces stress for both of us, which allows us to enjoy our time together and apart a little more. Life can be tough, but it is considerably better with a supportive female friend and teammate. Story 22. I'm going to be real. Dating women is difficult. As a bisexual man, I can tell you that when you try to date men, you face the same issues women do. People often just want to rush into things without truly knowing who you are. But dating women can be equally challenging. It's demoralizing and dehumanizing. You feel like you're trying to navigate an obstacle course, crafting your dating profile as if you're optimizing for search engines. However, being in a relationship with a woman, being emotionally supported, Having someone who loves me and who is always there to help makes it worth it. Someone who validates my feelings, listens to my concerns, and is warm in bed when I wake up in the morning is invaluable. That is worth all the challenges that come with dating. I have never entered a long-term relationship with a man. I assume it is similar, but I have never been willing to wade through the disappointing experiences on dating apps, nor have I been willing to be openly out for the low-quality companionship I have often encountered from other men. Story 23. I get along with my dates more than I do with most guys and girlfriends. I seem to have found many people who want to go drinking or partying. When going on dates, I find that women are up for more interesting activities like escape rooms, fruit picking, baking, visiting museums, and exploring galleries. While some of these activities might not be typical for friends, many of them could be. I simply enjoy doing these things more with my dates. Additionally, I appreciate being amazing, and I like people who recognize that in me. I also enjoy noticing what's amazing in others. Story 24. So that's a good question. First of all, I have always disliked putting labels on relationships. People see me as heterosexual because I am attracted to women. However, I will never label myself as heterosexual because, in the future, if I am attracted to a male, non-binary individual, or anyone who is not a child, I am open to exploring that without labels or opinions. But, for now, I am only attracted to women. Secondly, I live in a problematic country for men, particularly because of how misogynistic we are taught to be. I have never been like this, and for that reason, my friend groups are female-centered, as we usually share the same opinions and goals. I enjoy being around women, as I feel more comfortable with them. Lastly, I appreciate the female body, not in a way of wanting to be someone else, but in wanting to appreciate and celebrate their beauty. I admire their looks, smell, and all the unique imperfections and differences. I love the scent when my partner leaves the shower or comes home after a long day. I cherish the feel of soft skin and the intimacy of being close. Yes, I really like women. In all of my relationships, I have been with someone I was attracted to, including their looks and smell, who shared similar interests and hobbies so that we could enjoy activities together. We had similar goals, allowing us to plan for the future, whether close or distant. I need chemistry in a relationship. I identify as an introvert with a high sex drive, and my partners have been similar. Trust is vital. Being able to trust each other is essential. To be honest, if you changed the gender, nothing would change. People who identify as homosexual or bisexual feel the same way. You can ask the same questions and get similar answers. What do homosexuals gain from being with someone of the same gender? The same as heterosexual individuals. A partner, a connection of body and soul, someone to enjoy both physically and mentally, someone to wake up next to and say, "Hey, sweetheart, let's brush our teeth and then kiss. Okay?" Someone with whom you can be vulnerable. Well, that's how I see it. Story 25. Love is wonderful, but dating can be frustrating, especially on apps. I want to bypass the dating phase and go straight to love. If anyone has tips for achieving that, I would appreciate it. Story 26. There is a beautiful extended moment in an ideal relationship where you feel you have found your person. You are like Adam and Eve. The billions of people are mere background noise, a canvas for the two of you. Your workdays are not so burdensome because you have that person. Your rest improves because you cannot wait to settle in and snuggle with her into deep sleep. You have a different pep in your step. There is something about passionate intimacy with someone you love that changes your whole vibe. It is noticeable. That kind of connection is far better than any casual encounter. It feels like the very essence of your being is reinvigorated. The love you feel is beyond what you have ever felt for anyone else. This can potentially become your life companion. When she texts you, smile. When you hear her voice, you get a tingly feeling and a slight arousal. It is a beautiful thing when it exists in a healthy sense for a time. Story 27. The only reason I date is that hiring professional women is illegal. If it were not for basic biological needs, I would never date. It is really not worth it. I lost a significant amount of money, my faith, my trusting nature, and my belief that women are kind and nurturing in my divorce after discovering infidelity after 24 years. Additionally, I lost any notion that men receive equal treatment under the law. Story 28. Recently, I reached a point of contentment. I noticed I no longer have the biological urge to be around women, which made me realize that aside from that innate desire, I can't think of any other reason to be in a relationship. At the moment, the thought of being single indefinitely doesn't sound bad. If I met the right person, sure, but otherwise I'm fine. I'm curious, what do you all get out of relationships? I can't speak for relationships, but I find that my friendships with women have been really fulfilling. They provide the majority of what you would get in a relationship without the drawbacks, and having friends with benefits can be a real bonus. Congratulations on being content being single. It's a strong position to be in. Story 29. I'm in the exact same mindset as you, my friend. Saving money and having no stress is unbeatable. I also have a lot of free time. I'm in the best shape of my life because I can dedicate time to the gym. Story 30. That is how I feel about children right now. My peace of mind and the ability to sleep in on weekends are really important to me. Story 31. I love feeling masculine and appreciate the opportunity to use this as a benefit to others. A woman provides that opportunity, serving as someone to direct my protective energy toward another person. Unfortunately, I have some toxic traits and seem to attract toxic partners. My last relationship was a significant blow and made me realize I am not as capable or exceptional as I believed. Regrets can last a lifetime but can be quickly healed through the lessons learned. Story 32. I have a partner, someone to bounce ideas off, confide in, and who can disagree and explain why. Additionally, there is intimacy and food. Story 33. I enjoy being around women. Dating offers more than just friendship, and the physical closeness is also very comforting. Story 34. Warmth, affection, support, and companionship are essential in a relationship. Try dating someone for a few months before becoming intimate. You may be surprised by what you gain from the experience. Intimacy is enjoyable, but it should be a bonus, not the primary aim. A strong partnership should be founded on affection and mutual respect. You can be a complete person on your own, but you may become an even better person with a partner. While physical connection is part of a relationship, it should not be a transactional experience. If that is your only purpose, you are approaching it incorrectly. Story 35. Having a family is great. I have a best friend who is attractive and we have a child together. That is pretty awesome. Story 36. If I met the right person, sure, but otherwise I'm good. That is what I'm looking for in a relationship. I'm not just looking for any woman. Most women I've dated are nice and polite, but they never take initiative, expect too much special treatment, and aren't my type. Most of them are just boring for the most part. Most of the ones I've talked to from dating apps just work, watch television, stay on their phones, and hang out with friends. That's all they do. Some of them don't even work, and almost none of them have their own cars. Far too many women just want men to do all the work while they sit there looking pretty, and they have the audacity to judge men for how well they perform while doing nothing themselves. They call a coffee first date low effort. Do they even realize that they've done even less than the man? After 4 years of dating a variety of people, I found someone who has a better paying job than I do, has her own car, takes about 50-50 initiative on paying for things and asking me to hang out, surprises me with romantic gestures and gifts, and is just as affectionate and in love with me as I am with her. She's amazing, and she was worth all 4 years of searching. It's incredible that she is one of the only women I've ever met who wasn't romantically lazy, even from the first date. She's the first woman I've ever met where it's actually hard to keep up the effort to treat her better than she treats me. Story 37. I need to provide a sense of purpose. Someone who is appreciative, kind, and inspiring, even if the world hasn't always been fair to them. Story 38. When you find a woman who can be a good friend, it's a different experience. Enjoying conversations and spending time together, along with physical intimacy, creates a unique bond. I acknowledge that many women may not have much to offer beyond physical attraction. Some may engage in games, can be uninteresting to converse with, and may have numerous personal issues they expect you to resolve. This can lead to feelings of being used. I perceive women similarly to art or music. While they are not essential for survival, they provide a reason to live. Story 39. I got out of a long-term relationship that made me question myself, what I like, and my need for relationships as a whole. She tried to reach out a couple of times, but I realized at some point that I was over it. A few weeks ago, I had a conversation with my brother, who is in his mid-40s, and he tried to explain the importance of relationships and why I need one. He said that sometimes, as a straight man, you need a woman to help you navigate life and motivate you in achieving your personal goals. It then hit me. Sometimes, when all your personal drive falters, you just need a muse. Story 40. When you have a woman who truly makes a good friend, it's different. It's rare, but when you genuinely enjoy talking and spending time with her, along with a physical connection, the bond is unique. It's unlike anything else. I agree that most women do not make good companions. They often play games. They want you to offer them everything just for physical intimacy. They can be unfaithful, and they may lack depth and humor while demanding a lot and giving very little. Story 41. I feel similar to you about being single for the foreseeable future. It took me a long time to be comfortable being alone. I still enjoy socializing, which fills some voids. I am open to being with someone for a while, but I no longer have the expectation that a partner needs to be my everything or that we will be together forever. People either leave or pass away. There are no happy endings, only happy memories. Story 42. Intimacy is not just about sex. To me, intimacy involves sharing dreams for your future together. Having someone as your best friend with whom you can open up and talk about anything. It means having someone there to support you through the good and the bad, and to be the same for them. Intimacy includes deep conversations that foster understanding, providing us with a sense of belonging. When you can be fully yourself around that person, and they see both your good qualities and flaws and still choose to love and accept you, that is intimacy. Once you feel safe after being vulnerable with such a person, physical intimacy becomes just a way of expressing that connection. There is no experience like it. Story 43. To love and be loved. Someone I can trust who loves me for who I am. I have that with my family now, but I would like to have that with a partner. Story 44. I understand your feelings. I was married for 9 years, and after my divorce, I started dating and discovered I could attract women easily. However, after a few romances, I quickly realized that relationships often offered little beyond physical intimacy. Each relationship began to feel more like a chore than something enjoyable. I have also found women to be exhausting in that they often seek something from me. Whether it is my mother, female colleagues, acquaintances, or ex-partners, they are frequently asking for something. It is certainly not the same with my brothers and male friends. I have been single for just over a year and have been enjoying every moment of it. Story 45. I have often felt alone and needed a sense of safety for myself and others for various reasons. I found it necessary to maintain a tough edge and keep myself on my toes. The most healing and comforting moments for me come when I can openly discuss my feelings or simply close my eyes and relax my jaw, shoulders, and back while dreaming of her. Her genuine affection and love have been a constant source of motivation for me on my journey, and I have no doubt that if my purpose is fulfilled, I will be with her forever. Why must hope be so beautiful? I am grateful for it. Story 46. The intimacy, companionship, feeling of being cared for, the connection, and having a witness to our lives are invaluable. You see a beautiful sunset, explore a new part of the city, discover a new song or game, start a hobby, and make new friends. These are the moments you can share with a partner who genuinely cares about them. It feels wonderful when someone cares about us and the things we cherish. In my experience, sharing these things with friends or family may not elicit the same level of care. The love of a good partner can truly change your life. Story 47. Mostly companionship, affection, and intimacy. To love and be loved feels good too. However, being in a couple is not for everyone. It implies the ability to compromise. Story 48. A partner for life. Someone to help with anything. Set goals and work towards building something meaningful. someone to support me when it feels overwhelming, a reason to strive for a better life. Story 49. Honestly, people are looking at it the wrong way. Relationships are about what you can give. I'm not suggesting that you allow yourself to be taken advantage of, but viewing a relationship solely in terms of what you can gain is misguided. Personally, whenever I have developed feelings for a woman, my mind begins to focus on protecting and nurturing her. I want what is best for her and how I can make her happy and loved. If both individuals approach a relationship this way, then what you receive is exactly what you are meant to provide. I understand that reality is not a utopia, and people can be flawed and selfish by nature. Story 50. I have been married for 14 years. Before that, I was single for 10 years. It took me a long time to adjust, especially since my wife had 2 teenage daughters and an older son. I get on well with the older daughter, but not so much with the younger one. I have a great relationship with my wife's son. I thought I was happiest when I was on my own. Looking back, while I was happy, I realize now that over these past 14, almost 15 years, I wouldn't have gained the experiences I have now. I passed my driving test, which I wouldn't have been interested in otherwise. They were there for me when I was hospitalized twice due to illness. Otherwise, I would have been another statistic. They are my family. I have a son from another relationship but have no contact with him. What I'm saying is that I am content. Coming home with a kebab and chips, along with a couple of beers every night, was great, but it soon wears off. Story 51. A team is stronger than an individual. You will have strengths and weaknesses that complement each other. Together, you can tackle challenges more effectively and become more resilient. Additionally, having someone who supports you during unexpected situations, such as getting food poisoning, having your car battery die, or having a flat tire, is valuable. Story 52. I gave up on dating after trying to find a serious relationship and only ever finding casual encounters and friends with benefits. You realize quickly that many women offer little beyond physical intimacy, which makes the standards they hold you to seem even more self-serving. Story 53. What do I get? Personally, heartbreak and stress every single time. Some complications and nonsense are going to occur. One of my exes got into an argument with her partner tonight because he thought he was advising her about a better job. She felt disrespected because of the scope of her current job, and it devolved into a big issue. That is life, and that's okay. It's supposed to ultimately be a net positive, though. That's the goal. I'm about to say something that some people are going to take out of context, but it's a lot like owning a pet. They are going to require maintenance, tear things up, leave their hair everywhere, need to be fed, need exercise, get sick, and yes, they will make a mess. But you love them. They brighten your day. They are glad to see you. They show you affection. They are there for you. And that makes all the difficult moments worth it. Except the idea of the modern woman is to do none of that and to rely solely on their looks while spending his money and making whatever they can from selling inappropriate pictures online before ultimately taking half of everything that's left. This is the image we are perpetuating as a society. To fully answer your question, what we get is the big piece of chicken and intimacy on our birthday, knowing that one day the small slice of happiness we have carved for ourselves in this dismal world will be handed over legally after she makes a move with someone else. Story 54. I liked hookups. It was a lot of work. Dating now is still a lot of work, but I am managing it instead of focusing on sex. Would I rather be single? Meh. I enjoy being selfish and focusing on myself, but I also appreciate the companionship and someone valuing my actions. Besides, I dislike courtship. It feels lazy and selfish. Story 55. I want to start a family and seek companionship. I am married now. If you don't have a drive to pursue a partner for intimacy, you may be asexual. Alternatively, being out of shape can drastically lower your sex drive, and factors like depression can also negatively impact it. I received a message about this issue. I appreciate the concern, but I am actually in a good place. I have a therapist and am doing great. Story 56. To love and be loved, companionship, and intimacy. Also, my wife is great at housework. Story 57. Nothing. That's why I stopped. Dating stopped being fun or worthwhile 3 to 4 years ago. Maybe I will start again when I get older. I have heard that as a man, it changes a lot as you age. Story 58. I am having the same problem right now. I met a very nice woman, and it's fun to be with her. However, even though it feels like we are level-headed and mature in our dating, I just can't see myself doing the things she takes for granted. I value my free time. I don't like obligations, and I don't see myself being in a traditional relationship at this moment. It saddens me that women often feel differently. They want to be together, spend a lot of time together, and commit to each other regardless of how good the relationship actually is. Of course, they would love for me to extend the courtship and be emotionally available consistently, but there is almost nothing that I want in return. Story 59. I have dated men with whom I really connected, but because we did not have the same future plans, we have remained friends with benefits. It is a perfect situation with fewer expectations and, therefore, fewer disappointments. I can honestly say I am in love with my current partner. I care about him, and sometimes our pillow talk feels like therapy for us. I am naturally not a jealous person, which is why this type of relationship works for me. Story 60. Love, intimacy, sex, and socializing. Online dating provides an overwhelming amount of choice, leading to inflated egos for some women and the expectation for perfect date after perfect date. Feels like a catalog world now. Story 61. I'm in the same situation as you. Regarding your question, not much has changed. I've never had much fun socializing, which extends to dating as well. Plus, you tend to lose money since you often have to pay for everything, which isn't enjoyable. Additionally, around 50% of marriages in the United States end in divorce. I would struggle with dating. I'm fine. I'll just relax on my own. Story 62. If you are dating people to fulfill a biological need, then you are approaching it incorrectly. It is meant to be a fun and enjoyable experience. Story 63. I spent over 4 years single and was very content living life on my own terms. I am in a healthy relationship now, but I still struggle with being too independent at times. What do I personally seek from a relationship? I have goals. In time, I want a family and to be a mother. I believe that while I can choose my partner, my children cannot choose their parents, so I'm quite selective about who I choose to have children with. Currently, I am in a relationship and exploring whether my partner and I can grow together with the possibility of starting a family one day. Everyone has different goals. Figuring out what you want out of life can help you date in a way that aligns with your aspirations or maintain your independence. There is no right answer. You should do what you need to do to achieve your goals. Story 64. I often ask myself this exact question. When I ask it out loud, I get criticized because it's not normal. Well, maybe people consider normal to be miserable, getting cheated on, having their possessions sold out from under them, being lied to all the time. The list goes on. Like you, I never say never, and if the right person came along, that would be great, but so far I haven't found anyone worth the effort or time. Life as a single man has been truly amazing. I don't feel like I'm missing out on anything except the negative aspects of dating and relationships. There are just too many trivial things that get picked apart. Should I split the bill? Open her car door? Who should text first? Am I moving too fast? Too slow? Am I asking the right questions? There are so many confused individuals out there trying to interact with one another. I'd hate to be one of them. Everyone says to step out of your comfort zone. I say it's a comfort zone for a reason. Story 65. I am tired of having flaws and qualities that I have to keep changing to give myself a chance at being sociable. If I am never going to get it right, then I am done trying. Story 66. I am a woman, but I feel the same way. I live with 2 friends, a 30-year-old female, a 30-year-old male-to-female transgender, and a 32-year-old male who feels similarly, and none of us want kids. We have an amazing life and lots of fun together. We have platonic hugs and occasionally sleep in my giant king bed together after movies. We pooled our income to have a 6-bedroom house for the 3 of us. All the companionship I used to get from relationships, I now get from my 2 best friends. We still date, but it rarely lasts more than a year or 2 because most of our dating pool wants to settle down and have kids. We live near family and enjoy that too. We host parties and play games, among other activities. Investing in the friendships in my life has made relationships more of a nice-to-have, but not necessary thing. Story 67. My partner has made my life infinitely better in every way. I have become much more comfortable in my own skin, and she is my life partner through and through. She supports me every step of the way and is my inspiration. I would be lost without her, to be honest. She is a wonderful person in every way. Story 68. There is nothing wrong with wanting to be single for a while, but make sure you are not feeling depressed. Sometimes depression affects my sex drive and my need to socialize. Story 69. A life partner, marriage, children, and grandchildren. Someone to provide and protect, but also support my mission to help make the world a better place. I believe in remaining abstinent until marriage and will not date a woman who isn't doing the same. I have no interest in modern dating. Divorce rates are too high to consider anything other than a traditional approach. Story 70. To share memories and experiences with someone, to be loved and understood, and to never feel the sensation of being alone. Story 71. For as long as I can remember, I was told that loving and being loved was all I needed. I had high standards and was single, so I decided to give those words a chance. I recently emerged from a very traumatizing experience that had me recovering mentally for over a year. I am now in a good place with relationships and even in interacting with women romantically. I may never go back to the past, but I am focused on my projects, improving mentally and physically, and surrounding myself with better people. Therefore, I don't see myself longing for someone for a long time. I stopped searching and wanting, so if I come across someone, that's fine, but if not, that's okay too. Story 72. Like the top answer to love and be loved. It feels good to come home to someone who is always happy to see me and genuinely likes me a lot. Her getting upset about things that would be no big deal to me sometimes makes my life more stressful than being single, so it's not all perfect. Overall, I love her and am glad to be in a relationship. It feels good to cuddle up with someone I feel that way about, especially when it is clear that she also feels that way about me. Story 73. It is a difficult question to answer. I cannot view it through the lens of what I gain from the relationship. It is not a transaction. I would not feel complete if she left. We are part of each other in a sense. Thus, in a unique way, I find my sense of self in the relationship. Story 74. What do you get out of dating women? A wife, hopefully. I don't date. I find myself in a conversation with someone, and we hit it off, then go for coffee or ice cream. I have no interest in going through interviews with height and income requirements. I meet sensible people who look for the same signs I do. Is this person nice? And are they sane? Or do they think they are the main character? Story 75. It is nice to have someone help you with tasks. Sharing the burden can be beneficial. Emotional support is valuable. Story 76. Millions of my ancestors since the beginning of time have managed to continue their lineage. I am not going to be the one to break that tradition. Story 77. After 5 years of celibacy, having about 10 first dates, I gained nothing from it, so I am removing myself from the dating pool. Honestly, being single for so long is very difficult, but the current dating atmosphere is deteriorating each year. It will not improve as long as the online dating model that relies on swiping continues. Story 78. Being single is making me feel hopeless. I have never been in a relationship before, and I am 24 years old. I fear I may end my life soon if I cannot find proof that I am lovable or desirable. At this point, I feel I should just give up. Life feels overwhelming. Story 79. It's enjoyable, assuming she isn't superficial. Developing feelings is fun, and the entire process of going on dates and having everything go well is one of my favorite things. Story 80. I would argue that what you said makes you ideally suited to be in a relationship. You shouldn't need someone. When people are desperate for companionship, it is sometimes a sign that they are not ready for a relationship. However, when you meet someone without needing them and they are an excellent addition to your life, they make your time together happier, help you get through hard times more easily, and you can envision building a life together, then it's worth it. Someone who wants the same kind of future, shares your lifestyle, has similar goals, and will help you build those things together. It's similar to being in a hospital with someone, having someone to hold your hand during difficult moments, someone who, when you hear bad news, will comfort you, someone who surprises you by making breakfast in the morning or bringing you something you love that you wouldn't think to get for yourself. It's about having someone who makes you feel like you are part of a team, someone to build with and face the world alongside. You still have your life, they have theirs. But it's the smile you come home to that brings a little warmth to an otherwise empty home. Story 81. I date to marry, seeking an opportunity to find someone who will be there indefinitely. Someone with whom I can build a relationship, a home, a family, and a connection with God. It's another chance at that ultimate goal, and I believe it remains attainable, unlike many today who feel disenfranchised and disillusioned by life's challenges. Story 82. Ideally, it would be loving companionship and physical intimacy. However, in reality, it has mostly consisted of occasional decent dates and text conversations that do not progress. The motivation to continue has definitely diminished. Story 83. Someone who is willing to help me when I need an extra set of hands and can drive. This isn't expected. However, I won't date someone who thinks their personality is enough. Story 84. Having children. Other than that, not much is happening. She is only there because she sees you as a means to an end. A pet dog would be a much better companion and would genuinely care about your well-being. Story 85. I think I am somewhat different, and it is hard for me to connect with many people. Sometimes you meet girls with whom you do not have to pretend to be someone you are not. You can be yourself, say anything, and share anything without being judged. Spending time together and enjoying each other's company is important. I love having a connection with someone, and it does not even have to be about intimacy. Story 86. I have been single my entire life. As I approach 30, the desire for a relationship and companionship has become stronger than ever. Despite my attempts to ignore this feeling, it persists. This situation has contributed to my depression, as I fear I may not find someone. If I do find someone, I worry it may not last long. Story 87. Being lonely comes in waves. Reaching a point of contentment means you are finding peace with yourself, and that's a good thing. What you value is changing. Focus on whether the person who enters your life enriches it, and do the same for them. Story 88. Not much, really. I hate to say that, but today's culture is wired for instant gratification, with the individual self at the very center. These factors are not exactly conducive to developing meaningful relationships. Story 89. Having someone there for you is important because, as you grow older, not many friends remain. In rare cases, friends stay, but most of the time, having a spouse is like having a best friend. Or at least it should be. Story 90. It sounds like you are in a great place. I want to love, be loved, and have a safe haven from the rest of the world in my romantic and sexual relationships. Story 91. To have a lasting witness of your life, including the simple things like how you make your eggs or what shampoo you use. Someone who appreciates and loves you for every little detail. Story 92. Relationships are valuable. It is beneficial to have a partner who can assist with various tasks and provide support. I also appreciate receiving feedback on areas for personal growth. Story 93. It depends on the woman. If she loves you, then you receive admiration, respect, attraction, and devotion. If you love her as well, you will find motivation. Story 94. I hope you're still single. There are many comments on this board supporting relationships, but I would advise staying clear of them. If you pay close attention to the comments, you'll see that few can actually quantify what a woman offers a man. They can qualify it, yes, in highly subjective and therefore dubious terms. To be fair, it's also difficult to quantify what a man offers a woman nowadays. Economically, she is independent and often better off. She is ahead of him in education as well. As for relationships, it's nearly impossible to describe the turmoil a bad relationship can bring to either a woman or a man. The potential benefits of a good relationship do not offset the risks associated with a harmful one. It's not often discussed, but men do experience emotional and physical abuse, along with financial strain. Many try to endure it over time, but the devastation is evident in many married men in their late 40s and 50s. Some men claim to be happily married, but I wonder how many would make the same choice to marry if given the chance to start over. I think more and more people are appreciating the joy of living alone. I hope you are happy. Story 95. I am 34 years old and feeling lonely. I am attracted to a wonderful woman at my new job, but I found out she is separated with 3 kids, which was disappointing. I look young. When I was 18, I looked 14, and now at 34, people at my new job think I am around 25. Women have always assumed I am younger than I actually am. Finding women my age in my early to mid-20s has been difficult, and I mostly attract younger women. This trend continues now, as I find myself drawing the attention of women in their early 20s. It's been hard. Everyone I meet who is my age is already married or has children, or they assume I am younger than them. Additionally, most women my age do not want to be involved with a 34-year-old. It is getting harder to find the right person, and I am only getting older. Story 96. Nothing. You will likely face problems, including their baggage and other issues. At least for the younger generations, it seems to be challenging to date modern women. Story 97. Companionship and enrichment in all aspects. Assistance around the house through her and her extended family, and intimacy. Story 98. Companionship and intimacy can enhance a relationship. If the relationship is successful, you may combine finances to create a better situation for both partners. Having someone to share life's journey with allows for meaningful memories. Spending a morning together can bring pleasure in ways that solo experiences cannot. It is simply nice to have someone in your life. Story 99. Someone to help take care of you. Many men I know have poor hygiene and don't know how to maintain their living spaces properly. Having a partner around really helps. I work late and don't have time to cook. My partner makes dinner for me. It gives you a reason to get out. I dislike spending money, but I dislike being cooped up at home with little to no social interaction even more. It's the little things. Now go wash up and brush your teeth. Story 100. I'm a woman, and until a few months ago, I had no particular interest in a relationship. However, it is still nice to be loved and to love. You can express your feelings to your partner when needed, feel needed, and share more experiences and moments than you can with a friend. I'm not saying you should abandon your friends, though. It's honestly nicer than I thought. I don't rely fully on my boyfriend all the time. I just love the time we spend together. The moments we share are always meaningful to me, and being intimate with a partner is clearly more fulfilling than being alone. Story 101. Very rarely do women contribute something valuable beyond physical intimacy. Perhaps it's just my perspective, but outside of that, they often seem like another challenge to navigate in life. Story 102. The only thing I really want from a girl is intimacy. Anything else I can take or leave without caring. Story 103. I used to believe there was a balance between men and women, and that the desire for a feminine presence would enhance well-being. Unfortunately, none of my relationships led to that outcome. The only reason I date is for physical intimacy. I feel that women have little else to offer. Story 104. A different type of companionship you can't get with your friends unless you identify as gay, which can be a difficult choice since attraction is not always a matter of choice. I wish I were bisexual because I would have many more options, but I can't force it. Story 105. It's primarily about sex. Beyond sex, women contribute little in relationships. A relationship with a woman revolves around sex and the costs associated with it. These costs include money, attention, time, energy, favors, protection, and peace in exchange for sex. As you age, you may find that the sex is no longer worth the costs. The value of sex diminishes while a woman's costs tend to increase. Eventually, the return on investment becomes negative. Thanks a bunch for sticking around till the end of the video. Remember to subscribe, and until next time, stay awesome and goodbye.